You have reached the right place and the right channel, the Underdog Research Channel. And I am the principal researcher of all things technology, Underdog Researcher. And it is time for the Billionaire Blueprint. This is part one of the $1 billion blueprint. I'm going to take you through because this is such an in-depth video. I thought it was best that I'll have to break it up in two sections. The first section of the Billionaire Blueprint, I'm going to go over a connection at the foundational level that I discovered in my recent review of the patents and trademarks. And once you see this connection, I will bring you to part two, which will be in the $1 billion blueprint. And this is going to go over the connection to bringing this project into the light that I see that it is ready and primed for. So pay attention. Details are important. Now, before I get started, folks, this is research entertainment, and I can't do a video like I'm about to do for you without having my pomegranate juice, folks. This is the drink of champions. We don't need alcohol, folks. What we need is this pomegranate juice to take away all the things bad in the world. So cheers to you. We're about to get this $1 billion blueprint down. Man, that's nice. Let's get started, folks, with the Billionaire Blueprint. Let's go. If you are watching this video and you don't know the faces that are appearing on your screen, then you do not know the Billionaire Blueprint for SWFTCoin. Each and every face on this screen is directly and indirectly associated with the future and current success of Swift blockchain and SWFTCoin. And I found this out when I dug deep in the SWFTCoin patent and trademark. I gave you an in-depth video where I went through and identified things that you needed to know. Now, what were those things? You found out if you watched my previous video on the blockchain, SWFTCoin, and Swift blockchain. You found out about GooCoin and that it is a company owned by Ramble Land, the CEO of SWFTCoin. We found out that the trademark Swift was dead, and GooCoin was a company that owned Swift. We found out it was situated in California. And I went all the way through. And not only did I show you it was situated in California, I showed you a connection between TI Park, Silicon Valley, the building and the company that houses SWFTCoin and GooCoin. I showed you this connection, and you found out that TI Park, Silicon Valley is a U.S.-China technology startup incubator based in the heart of Silicon Valley in California. You knew that it was founded in 2013, and TI Park, Silicon Valley is the joint project between THTI Holdings, a subsidiary, and this was to encourage startups, companies, both in the US and China, to go beyond the border, to expand overseas markets, and to promote business communication and cooperation between Silicon Valley and China. TI Park, Silicon Valley features 50,000 square feet office space, now located both in California and also in China. Now, I want you to know that if you looked up the zip code for where SWFTCoin is, where GooCoin is, where TI Park is, there is a 65% ratio of Asian population in this area. Now, that's important to know. Now, I showed you the connection between TI Park and California and the TI Park in Beijing, China, and how they work collaboratively together to influence growth in both the US and China in technology. And we went through this and saw that GooCoin was registered in California. But this is what you didn't know. Folks, buckle up. Take your time, get comfortable. From this point right now, I'm about to go through the Billionaire Blueprint, but you need to pay attention to the connections. I'm going to take my time and identify specifically why you need to see and hear this information. Here it goes. This is what I found. Here we have the California Secretary of State, and I wanted to check out this SWFT USA and SWFT Incorporated. What? Wait a minute. Are there two under the same name, both in California? That can't be a coincidence. In fact, I don't believe in coincidences. So let's take a closer look. As you can see, there was in 10/3/2016, a corporation formed under Bo Land. That's the exact same person who runs Swift, isn't it? The CEO. What's interesting is that in 2017, this was terminated. A company called SWFT USA, and it's in California, but the agent is a different name, John Shin. And the mailing address, though, is One World Trade Center, Suite 1130, Long Beach, California. But it has to be a coincidence, right? Because we all know we believe in coincidences. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. But I want you to remember John Shin. So as I click on this one, I look and it shows the status of the company is active. It shows Bo Land at 1601 McCarthy Boulevard in California. That is the same address as what was shown earlier. And everything looks like it's in good standing. It all shows active and good standing. But who is John Shin? This must be John. And there's some articles about John Shin. Let's see what that has to talk about. And why is their name on the same company that Swift has? Well, it says he's an American Lending Center. Oh, the same address, One World Trade Center, Long Beach, California. Investor representation. Look at that. This is John Shin. Let's find out more about John Shin. It says John Shin is a creative pioneer behind groundbreaking integration of banking senior loan origination with EB5 operations. John obtained his master's degree from Duke University in 2006 and is an undergraduate degree from Law School of Pekin University in 1992. John founded American Lending Center, LLC, formerly Use LDC, and in 2009, as of 2022, ALC regional centers have successfully sponsored the fully funded over 80 EB-5 projects. Who is this EB5? Maybe we should look back at that. But I digress. Projects exclusively through secured senior loans by originating customized senior loans with third-party construction fund control and on-site management. ALC's unique approach minimizes the risk in both capital operation and corresponding immigration adjudication. The projects have collectively created over 12,000 full-time jobs throughout the United States. In October 2017, John received the Coleman Reports SBA 504 Lender of the Year Award for his outstanding leadership and contributions to business lending across the nation. The Economic Development Commissioner for the city of Long Beach, John also co-founded the first ever Long Beach Accelerator to support tech startups and help promote foreign direct investments and international trade. Well, John Shin, that's who you are. I think we should pay attention to John Shin. We should also pay attention to EB5 investors. The John Shin here at the same address with the same company name that came less than 1 year later has something to do with a connection with Bo Land, who is a part of EB5. They are filled with immigration attorneys, securities attorneys, RC creators, regional centers, business plan writers, EB5 accountants, economists, due diligence analysts, and the list goes on. So this group of individuals are organized and they invest in tech startups. I don't believe in coincidences. Do you? We saw John Shin make an introduction by seeing their name on an identical company called Coin. But why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. We're going to figure this out together. You see, Coin, which is the company that owns Swift Blockchain, is two companies. There is a Coin Incorporated, which I showed you, Ramble Land, 10/3/2016, is the CEO and is active. And there's the Coin USA Limited Liability Company, which was created on 6/16/2017, which is terminated by John Shin. Now, you would think to yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, if you were speculating, this is what I would speculate why there are two Coins, the Coin LLC and the Coin Incorporated. I think, if I was speculating, that there's a capital requirements that are different when you have Coin LLC versus a Coin Incorporated. You see, I believe that if I was creating two companies, the capital requirements initially forming a corporation might be necessary if the founders are seeking a significant outside investment. So corporations offer various classes of stocks, making it easier to raise capital by selling shares to investors. Now, once the initial capital needs are met, the company might decide to convert to an LLC structure, which typically has fewer ongoing compliance requirements and offers more flexibility in the management and tax treatment. So maybe initially the Coin Incorporated wanted to get investments from outside investors. What else do I think? Why would there be two Coins? Make it make sense, Underdog Researcher. Well, there could be tax considerations. You see, what was happening in my speculative mind is that corporations and LLCs are taxed differently. You see, corporations are subject to double taxation, where the corporation itself is taxed on its profits, and then shareholders are taxed on the dividends they receive. But LLCs, on the other hand, are pass-through entities, meaning profits and losses flow through the owner's personal tax returns. If the company finds that the LLC structure offers more favorable tax treatment for its specific situation, they may opt to convert. Then I start thinking, just speculation, what about liability concerns between Coin LLC and a Coin Incorporated? Well, this could be the reason. While corporations and LLCs both offer limited liability protection to their owners, the specific details can vary. You see, LLCs often offer more flexible liability protection, especially for smaller companies. If the founders initially chose a corporation for its capital raising capabilities, but later find that the LLC offers sufficient liability protection without the added complexity, they might choose to convert. And then I thought, well, what about operational flexibility between a LLC Coin and a Coin Incorporated? Just speculation, folks, but this would be my speculation. You see, why they would do it? Well, operationally, the flexibility would be the LLC Coin typically would have fewer formal requirements and less administrative burden compared to corporations. If the founders initially underestimated the administrative overhead associated with running a corporation, they might choose to convert to an LLC for a simpler ongoing operations. And then finally, I thought, what about the strategic changes between having GooCoin LLC and GooCoin Incorporated? Well, strategically, if I was to speculate, I would think that sometimes the reasons for changing a business structures might be strategic or operational. Let me give you an example. For instance, if the founders initially intended to pursue a specific market or a business model that later proves unfeasible or unprofitable, they might decide to close the LLC and pursue a different venture altogether. Folks, that was Underdog researcher speculating on why I found two GooCoins created within a few months of each other, one Ramboland or Bowland, and the other one with someone I'd never heard of, John Shin at the time. And I gave you 5 reasons of why I speculated that was the case. But now let's remove the speculation. Let me show you exactly why you need to pay attention to that name, John Shin, with this project. I showed you that EB5 investors. But what is an EB5 investment? Well, there's a program in the US. Let's talk about it. The EB5 Investor magazine, where we saw John Shin, is the leading online portal conference series and magazine devoted to helping investors, developers, and EB5 professionals. Now, what they do is an online community helping those seeking a green card to the U.S. through the EB5 visa program. Now, this visa program was set up by the United States government in an effort to assist investors in becoming permanent U.S. residences. Now, I want you to think about that. John Shin is associated with this EB5 investors, and he also is associated with this company called GooCoin. And why does that matter? Well, the Department of Homeland Security is why it matters. Yes, folks, we're going deep. You see, the Department of Homeland Security has an EB5 immigrant investor program. And let me explain why. You're like, why does this have to do with SWFTCoin? You better pay attention, folks, because it's going to get real. You see, this EB5 immigrant investor program does primarily 4 major things. The USCIS, that's the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, administers this EB5 program. Under this program, investors and their spouses and unmarried children under 21 are eligible to apply for lawful permanent residency. That's a green card, folks. Now, 1, you see that check mark to the right? They make the necessary investment in a commercial enterprise in the United States. 2, second check mark I have for you there. They plan to create and preserve 10 permanent full-time jobs for qualified U.S. workers. 3, this program is known as the EB5 for the name of the employment-based 5th preference visa that participants receive. And then 4, you see that right there, folks, the very last check mark. The U.S. Congress created this program, folks. The EB5 program in 1990 to stimulate the U.S. economy through job creation and capital investments by what? Foreign investors. In 1992, the U.S. Congress created the Immigrant Investor Program, also known as the Regional Center Program, which sets aside EB5 visas for participants who invest in commercial enterprises associated with regional centers approved by the USCIS based on proposals of promoting economic growth. So SWFTCoin, the blockchain owned by GooCoin in TI Park, which is what is at the Silicon Valley, and it's for U.S. China Startup Incubator in the heart of California, a venture capital and private equities company situated in two places, TI Park in California and TI Park in Beijing. Folks, you see it. So I just showed you again. That was my previous research where I showed you TI Park. And you're thinking, Underdog Researcher, you're keeping me on the edge of my seats. What is the connection with John Shin? What is it? Your wait is almost over, folks. Folks, this video is going to be in depth. I'm going to show you the direct connections, and we can't just do some cookie cutter research. We got to show you the connections firsthand for yourself. John Shin is also the chief executive officer. That's the CEO of a company called the American Lending Company. And what I showed you was back when KuCoin was first started from 2017 all the way until the crypto crash in 2021, SWFTCoin, KuCoin sales reported were no more than $130,000. And with the crash of crypto, KuCoin was in a predicament. So introducing John Shin, foreign direct investments. You see, if you remember, John Shin was at a location at the World Trade Center in Los Angeles, California. And that was the foreign direct investment hub. Now we know this because if you look at the KuCoin registration, the same one I showed you in the previous video, we see the two KuCoins. And I'll put it in green so you can see it right there with your own eyes. KuCoin USA LLC, the limited liability company, the location in green with the black wording says what? It was created on 6/16/2017. The location being 1 World Trade Center, Suite 1130, Long Beach, California. And that was on the same registration time as SWFTCoin. And what does the World Trade Center in Los Angeles do where John Shin's at? Well, it's dedicated to attracting foreign direct investments and facilitating business opportunities between Los Angeles and international companies. Now, Los Angeles County is a mega region with many opportunities for international companies to set up in one of the largest U.S. marketplaces and where 40% of all goods in the United States enter. Folks, John Shin, as you see right there, look on the back of his wall. Can you see that? I underlined it with a green line and check marked it with green. It shows John Shin standing in front of a picture he's posing, and it says American Lending Center, his company, and it then says EB5 milestone. So John Shin, who is he? Why does it matter? Well, John Shin, the CEO, also has a company called Sunstone Investments. His expertise includes commercial lending, structural financing, private equity, and I put it in green so you can read it, folks, venture capital fund management. John has an in-depth understanding of the U.S. capital market demand and unique ability to develop client trust and have essential in laying the foundation of his company. And I need you to understand, you're like, Underdog Researcher, I know we're talking about John Shin, but what's the connection to SWFTCoin? Well, it's right here, folks, right here. In John Shin's book named Crossing the Swamp, My Path to Innovating as a Parallel Entrepreneur, I put it in black. It says John has a strong passion to support grassroots entrepreneurs and small businesses, especially minority and women-owned micro businesses. His American Lending Center had made over 25,000 loans to minorities and women-owned small businesses in all 50 states by the end of 2022. Remember that, folks. Remember, he gives loans. Remember all 50 states, and remember 2022. He is a co-founder of the Long Beach Accelerator and his company, Sunstone, reward innovative startups. Now, he's talking about pitching. Well, let's talk about what he pitches. Well, you see, here we have ALC, his company, American Lending Center. Look at the bottom left, folks, with EB5 investors. Port Beach, California Immigration Expo, where they're bringing in investors that want to do the EB5 program. Now, this EB5 program was funded and sponsored by the Green Card Fund. Now, you still got to see the progress of why this is important. So let me show you why this is all connected to SWFT Coin, a new gen worldwide company. It talks about what it is. Here we go again, the EB-5. And what does it say? The program is an Invest in Immigrant program created by Congress in the United States, folks, in 1990 for foreign nationals can get a green card if their investment of $800,000 into a local project creates at least 10 full-time American jobs. They've seen $14 billion in capital investment and has created more than 355,000 new full-time jobs here in the USA. With the Green Card Fund, which you see showed you earlier, they've created hotels, museums, healthcare, schools. Who's behind this program with Green Card Fund? Their international, localized support for our investors and distribution partners are in China, Vietnam, and India. You have to put in as a company in order to even be eligible for this particular program, which we know there's a connection with SWFT Coin. Well, this is what it says. When investing through a regional center, the minimum capital investment requirement is $800,000. And when you select a project in a targeted employment area for the projects not meeting this criteria, the capital investment requirement, $1,050,000. Green Card Fund actually seeks quality projects that reside in these areas that are invested in immigrant opportunities and are available as many qualified investors as possible. And we're just on John Shin. I have lots to go, folks. Lots to talk about today. So we see that EB5, John Shin, gives loans. And the United States Congress back in the 1990s and 1992 said we want to increase investments from foreign companies, foreign organizations. And this is what we'll do. If you bring your talent here, if you come to the United States, and not only you come to the United States, you create at least 10 jobs, and you will spend at least $850,000 into that company, we will give you a EB5 green card for you, for your wife, or your husband, and your unmarried child up to 21 years of age. Because you will help us grow as the United States of America with your talent, with your knowledge. And John Shin says, I will, as a company under American Lending Center, loan money as a non-bank into venture capital and small businesses and minority businesses, because I'm from China and I've made it over here and I crossed the swamp, as he said in his book, and I want to help out you. And if you have the right factors, like the U.S. Congress has stated, I will give you money through this program. So earlier, I speculated of why I saw GooCoin LLC and GooCoin Incorporated with John Shin and Rambo Land, the CEO of SWFT, and John Shin here as well. But I'm about to show you a connection. It was the Bitcoin Forum in 2017. I want you to remember that John Shin's company, American Lending Center, is also called Sunstone. And I want you to remember that Ramble Land, as you see right there, is the CEO, and he is over Swift blockchain, right? And I want you to see this username right there, right on your screen, called Jeff XUY. Now, just so you can see, look at the bottom. It says last active in 2020, and the date registered was October 25th of 2017. Now, I want you to remember that, folks. Now, GooCoin connection. We both know now, after you've heard me talk about this, was a company that both John Shin owned and Ramble Lane owned, and we wanted to know why. Now, on October 25th of 2017, there was a question asked on this forum that you can find online, buried deep within the internet. And it was in the Bitcoin forum. And on that date, a user named LuxBit, I put it in green to the left, asked a question to Jeff XUYUM. Now, this question was, as it shows you there, this: who would be the members of the team? Because you mentioned our team, but do not list who the members are. Now, just to put some context to it, folks, you see, the Bitcoin forum was a forum created like Reddit, a blog, if you will, by this person named Jeff. And they listed this information to promote the token SWFTCoin in 2017. And we know that SWFTCoin came out in 2017. And so this user is responding to the person who was promoting SWFTCoin. And I want you to see what they said. This is what they said. So we need to explore the connection. Is it all just a coincidence? Well, let's find out right now. The very first post here in the Bitcoin forum, October 25th of 2017, as you can see here, SWFTCoin has the user, Jeff XUYUN, that created this forum during their airdrop campaign. Now, in this SWFTCoin blockchain blog that you can see here that is announcing their airdrop, it goes over the partners, the exchanges that were there at the time, which again, I want to show you is October 25th of 2017 at 7:24 p.m. And it talks about the advantages, the SWFTCoin overview. Now, this is the very first post on this Bitcoin forum. Now, just like all cryptocurrency projects and blockchains and technology, people have questions. So I want to draw your attention to this. On October 25th, 2017, 2 hours later after this was first released and announced by SWFTCoin, at 9:13 p.m., a username, LUKSBit, a senior member with over 1,204 posts on the Bitcoin forum, asked a question to SWFTCoin. And that person that they asked the question to was the person who started the trend about SWFTCoin, Jeff XUYUN. Now, they asked a very simple question, a question you might ask. They ask, who would be the members of the team? Because you mentioned our team, but do not list who the members are. That's a fair question, right? But I want you to pay very close attention to the response. I'm going to make this bigger so we can't miss it. In response to that question, we see the response from SWFTCoin, the person that's here as the moderator, Jeff XUYUN. And they responded fairly quickly, as you can see. This post was at 9:13 p.m. where the question was asked about who the members were. And a very quick response by Jeff. Just about 9 minutes later at 9:24 p.m., it says the following. Who would be the members of the team? You can view a detailed list of the members on the 18-page white paper here. Some selected members are listed below. And as you look through this, what do we find? That's right, folks. John Shin, aka Shin Zhang. Who is he? The founder and the CEO of Sunstone Management in the United States and the EB5 Regional Centers Holding Group. Sunstone Management partners with Morgan Stanley, AB Funds, and M Group and Seraph Group to issue a combination or customized products offering global wealth planning and management services. Regional Center Holding Group has 11 EB5 regional centers approved by the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. John obtained his lawyer's degree, that's that JD degree, from Pekin University in 1992, and a master's degree in statistics and sociology from Duke University in 1996. Shin has been serving as the chairman of the admissions committee of the Alumni Association of Duke University since 2013. In 1993, John received a Henry Luce Foundation Fellowship and began his graduate study at Duke University in 2015. He received Forever Duke Outstanding Alumni Award from Duke University in 2016. He became a member of James B. Duke Society and the President's Society Council at Duke University. Folks, we have verified the connection with John Shin. Oh, yes, folks. I told you it's going to get real, folks. It went from speculation to reality. SWFT connection revealed. This Bitcoin forum showed that John Shin is a team member for SWFT blockchain. But don't take that word for it from just a blog, folks. I went deep and I located the original white paper that they were referring to, page 19 of 30, that John Shin of Sunstone is a team member. I blew it up so you can see it. SWFT blockchain's white paper that came out in 2017 says John Shin Zhang, is the founder and CEO of Sunstone Management in the United States and the EB5 Regional Center Holding. Sunstone Management partners with Morgan Stanley, AB Funds, M Group, and Seraph Group to issue a combination of customized products. Folks, let me tell you how smart this person is. There he goes. John Shin, the founding partner of Sunstone Management, a founding member of SWFT blockchain, SWFT Coin, is in Southern California-based diversified private capital management, an investment firm. He received his undergraduate from Pekin University in 1992. The man is tremendously brilliant with finances. Now, let me go a step further. The executive John Shin, founding partner of Sunstone Management Incorporated and CEO of American Lending Center, in an article in August 19, 2019, they talk about John Shin. Here he is, again, the CEO of American Lending Center, a team member of SWFT Coin that has just been revealed to you. Now, this is why John Shin started American Lending Company. He started American Lending Company using SBA loan programs as a primary investment vehicle. And they're looking to look at small businesses to give them venture capital opportunities to help these startup companies like SWFT Coin and SWFT Blockchain, GooCoin. Sunstone, his company. Why is that important, folks? Well, this is why it's important. In an article, they asked John, where do you see the biggest opportunities for foreign investment in Long Beach, California? This is what John said. I think on top of that, Long Beach has a pretty active government that has pushed out a lot of new policies to support international business to relocate to Long Beach. We know that they love Long Beach. It's going to take a little bit of time to attract all this foreign investment to Long Beach, but I think the future looks really good. You see, on March 5th of 2024, you want to know how powerful this is? At 2:54 p.m., do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Okay, I'm going to ask you again. Do you know what happened? Oh, no, you're not ready yet. Do you know what happened at 2:54 p.m. on March 5th? I'll wait. I can't wait. Let me show you what happened, because you should know what happened if you're in SWFTCoin. So Sunstone, John Shin's company, had launched a dream run moving Irvine forward. Now, this is an article that was done at the time in Irvine, California on March 5th, 2024. Pay attention to the date and time, folks, 2:54 p.m. This is what John said. Most people who live and work in Irvine, California were not born or raised here. Now, he further said what I put in bold at the bottom. We are fundraising $50,000 to support entrepreneurship and startup development. This race is the cornerstone of the Irvine Tech Week and the launch pad for the Irvine Accelerator. Now, remember, folks, he was the same one to do the Long Beach Accelerator and do innovation with private equity companies and also with venture capital. Now, in green, it says what John says. John says, and I quote, the founder of Sunstone and American Lending Center, the Sunstone Community Fund provides grants to network of universities, nonprofit organizations, and public-private partnerships that develop and implement university-based entrepreneurship programs, early stage tech accelerators, and more. Now, folks, he talked about that accelerator. You see, the Irvine, California approved John Shin's letter of intent with his company, Sunstone Management for Business Accelerator. Now, folks, if you remember March 5th, 2024, do you really remember it? If you hold SWFTCoin, you should, because on the same day that he launched this 5K run to raise money and where he was promoting the innovation and acceleration of Irvine, let me tell you what happened. Let's see if you like this connection. SWFTCoin received the highest amount of volume in its history in one day at March 5th, 2024, around the same time when John Shin was launching this accelerator and spreading the news about what his company can do for foreign investments. SWFTCoin, where he's a team member, where he founded, raised 111 million in volume in 24 hours, folks. One day, 24 hours. So you wanted to know what all was going on during that time frame, and people were buying everything from Coinbase, and the market was going crazy. SWFTCoin doubled its market cap. It went from 10 million to 25 million, and it kept going, and it stayed there. You couldn't get the project at the same cost. And I'm not even talking about the money. That was just one day. Now, if that was caused by John Shin's interaction in this market, then you're really like this. You know, SWFTCoin and AI go hand in hand. But did you know that on November 20th of 2023, there was an executive order from the President of the United States on artificial intelligence and how it could affect these EB-5 visas I told you about? President Joseph Biden issued in late October of 2023 an executive order on the safe, secure, and trustworthy development of use of artificial intelligence, instructing government agencies to take steps to retain and attract talent in artificial intelligence and make visa processing more efficient for individuals coming to work and studying U.S. in AI or AI critical technologies. Folks, you cannot get any better than that. The President of the United States in 2023, President Joe Biden, had an executive order that is still in place that directly connects with the area in which John Shin is in, getting foreign investments in the area of AI so that we as the United States can expand our growth in those areas. And how do we trade it off? The companies under this program must have at least 10 American jobs they create and have at least a minimum of $800,000 to $1 million invested in order for you to get the loans that John Shin is able to give to these businesses like SWFTCoin. And it's still not done, folks. We're just talking about John Shin. I'm just getting warmed up. What does SWFTCoin do? Well, here it shows you exactly what it does and why is it that's applicable. It was created by experts in the field of what? Artificial intelligence, information data, and blockchain. It does 4 types of exchanges, folks. Fiat to fiat, that's money to money exchange. Fiat to cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency to fiat, and cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency. According to developers, the SWIFT platform is the future and it will become the fundamental technology that all existing currency conversion services will focus. SWFTCoin, folks, the technology. You want to know why that was important? I just showed you why with just one of the connections. We got more, folks. I got more. That it will become the fundamental. We're talking about the bread and butter technology that all other AI platforms such as SWIFT will model after. But SWIFT is there first. Folks, we are just warming up. What does SWIFT do? Well, the individual user can use SWFTCoin like this. You get the platform, you can exchange to the platform. This is in the blueprint of SWFTCoin, and you can exchange currencies. But what about the commercial user? The commercial users are the banks and companies. This is SWIFT's blockchain's white paper, folks, the foundation. Well, you get your SWFTCoin, you can transact with fiat, that's money, crypto, crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto, whatever you want, and use the API integrated into whatever system you want, folks. Folks, this is what I've been trying to tell you. If you check out the episode number 2 on the new collaboration, the Third Eye, Internet Industry Insights, they talk about this, and I want to give you a quick glimpse. If you haven't seen this new collaboration, Indigo Saint is the host of this one, and let me show you what he said just about that part when it comes to why this is humongous news, folks. Check out what was said in the Third Eye episode number 2.
Welcome back to the Third Eye with your boy Indigo Saint. So for me, anything that I find on the internet, any project that I see, any crypto project specifically that I see that has anything to do with, they call them swaps. In reality, how I see it is that it's the transfer of money. That's basically what a swap is. So it's a transfer of money from one party to another, and parties range. You see, parties can be an individual. It could be me sending money to you. Because of cryptocurrency, you can do this directly. I can get a wallet, you can get a wallet, and then we can share. What happens though is that these cryptocurrencies, they don't use the same technology. So for example, if you have crypto that is, let's say, in Ethereum, that's Ethereum based, right? Those have a different protocol than cryptos that are Binance based. They have different protocols as far as the technologies that they use. So SWIFT Coin, if you're looking for the token, it's SWFTC. SWIFT Coin facilitates various functionalities within the SWIFT blockchain, unique cross-chain swap technology that aggregates liquidity from multiple exchanges to provide users with the best possible rate for their cryptocurrency swaps. This technology eliminates the need for users to create accounts on multiple exchanges and simplifies the swapping process, money from one chain to another. The challenge then comes when you have to move from one protocol or / network to another. This is now when you need to use a third party, right? And these are technologies that allow swaps, technologies that exist, that are circulating in Web3 right now, right? And so, as I was saying, anytime I see swaps, right, automatically, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, money from Australia to Peru, that must be a protocol in itself. How does that money get transferred? When I'm looking at these technologies, I'm looking at utility. So this is just to set quick, all right? A lot of what banking relies on is not just security, but it's also about speed. The quicker you can move money, the more business you get, the more money you can make.
Quicker you can move it, the better you can make money. Right now, folks, it's about speed. You look at the crypto market, it's crazy. You got 10 different tokens. You have to have 10 different wallets, and one doesn't talk to the other. But with SWIFT Coin, it is the hinge, folks. I'm not looking for the door. No. I'm looking for the hinge that keeps the door up. You can have the strongest door in the want to, but if you don't have the right hinges, that door won't function. And SWIFT Coin is that hinge that allows this cross-border payments to happen, and everyone's getting on the bandwagon. So, folks, that was the Third Eye, episode 2. Make sure you tune in, but I'm not done. We got to keep going, folks. John Shin, the foreign direct investment at the World Trade Center where he works, folks. I told you that he is a part of the EB5. Picture with the EB5 and his company, American Lending. And one day of John Shin doing his thing under Sunstone on the same day of his event, coincidence that SWIFT Coin made volume of $111 million in 24 hours? I think not. But if for those pessimists, then fine. I just think it's a very, very significant coincidence that happened on the same day and the same time that he's holding an event to promote his accelerated program for Irvine, California, after he's done this for Long Beach, California. Call it coincidence, that you be the judge. Now, here we go, folks. Here's another connection. John Shin, remember, American Lending Center is his company, EB Investors. They're pitching on March 8th. Now, March 8th, they have a pitch, and that's going to be about this and all other global immigration things dealing with EB5. And then we have the Vietnam. We see that on March 13th to the 14th, they're going to Vietnam. Now, why are these international things important? Well, let me tell you why. Because John Shin, remember, he is a Chinese native, a SWIFT Coin member of the founding of SWIFT Coin. He came to U.S. in 1993 as a foreign student. He's the CEO of American Lending Center in Irvine, California, where the city of Irvine has now accepted his proposal to innovate with entrepreneurship in foreign investments and technologies just like SWIFT Coin. He's a powerhouse, folks, with over 100 million in revenue in 2021. He pioneered unique lending models and is noted for that. Shin founded Sunstone Management, an investment firm that achieved exponential growth, earning recognition on incorporations of the 5,000 in Financial Times, folks. And let me show you how you know this is important. Because the EB5 investors converted their whole edition into Chinese. Why would they do that? Well, let me tell you why they would do that, folks. because this EB5 investor with John Shin is going to Shanghai, China to pitch, folks, on May 14th and 15th of 2024. That is the third quarter. And then they're not done. They're going in the fourth quarter, going toward the very beginning of the fourth quarter is September 2024, right before October. So at the very end, right when the October begins, they're going to pitch again in Shenzhen, China. And why is it important? Well, I showed you in my previous video, Fidelity. I told you about, wow, they did the rabbit year and the year of the dragon. And I showed you Catherine Young, investment director in China Focus. And remember what she said about what's going down in 2024 and 2025? If you don't remember, then pay attention.
Investors looking into 2024 perhaps shouldn't expect a V-shaped economic recovery. The reason being is that the government's policy response has transitioned away from big bang policy stimulus that many investors are used to. So for example, in 2008, to more targeted and precise policy support. Expect more incremental supportive measures, really underpinning growth across the economy. And these policies in aggregate are expected to be quite meaningful. Growth for China is about viable, sustainable, moderate growth. We don't need to see GDP come in at 9 or 10% anymore, given where the economy is in the cycle. So 2024 is also probably about this continuation of investors' expectations when it comes to China and the resetting of expectations when it comes to growth, both when it comes to economic growth as well as market returns. The investment process of the China Focus strategy remains exactly the same. So it's all about identifying good companies run by good management teams at a good price. So under the scenario where the Chinese economy does go into a downturn, when the cycle does recover, these companies will still be around. And a strong or solid business model should in fact see more value add to these companies. Turnaround in sentiment, especially in the first half of 2024. But under the scenario whereby we do see the government reforms work, then top down, this bodes well for a good result. So top down, coupled with attractive bottom-up fundamentals, should see Chinese equities deliver attractive earnings as well as returns for investors.
Okay, that's all I have for the Billionaire Blueprint Part 1. I'm going to release Part 2. If you're watching Part 2 and you didn't see Part 1, then you're wrong. Make sure that you watch Part 1 of the Billionaire Blueprint. You won't find this anywhere else.